with the tradition of fishing and smuggling behind it, it's no surprise that Rye is known in many countries for the quality of its boat building. The ancient crafts have been handed down through the generations. Harry Phillips and his family still run a thriving boatyard on the edge of the marshland.
I was born here, right on the spot nearly where we are now. Yeah.
And how much has the town itself changed in that time?
Oh, tremendous lot. Where you're standing now, where we're sitting, the trawlers used to come along here and tie up. And the barges, everything used to come up there.
Bringing what sort of things?
Oh, cheese, gravel, coal, timber, all manners of things. We call it a beach boat, especially designed for the beach. So they got a very fine, very blunt forefoot. You know, as you come round the stem. Well, in the old days, that was very blunt, so when they came ashore with the surf behind them, they shoot up the beach. Because they only had a lug, so never had engines in them in them days. You know, you had to row the darn things.
Have things changed since engines came?
Oh, yes, the forefoot has to be much finer, or else it'd pound so much as smash them all up, the forefoot, you see. And the timbers and kills used to be all local grown, not far away. Wych elm for the boats. Wych elm is like gold. It really is. And I mean, there you are, it's been butchered and cut down and never been replaced. That's the trouble. It takes a long time to grow, wych elm does. Some of it's been coming from right away down Devon, Cornwall and down that way. Oh, wych elm's lovely, lovely wood to work. Yeah. You mustn't let it get too dry, though, or else it gets brittle. That's the trouble with the boat, see? A lot of people think you want wych elm, especially, must be about 50-50. Or else, when you rivet it together and it gets wet, if it's too dry, it stretches the copper nails. And when it settles down, of course, you've got a boat that's like a sieve all the time. A lot of people have made that mistake, you know, when they've asked us, give them what's going to build them. When we tell them it wants to be 50-50, they don't believe us. Not till they built it and found out afterwards. Don't have no drawings, no nothing. Everything's done. They just tell you what you want, and you know what they want. It's been in the family for years, that design.
19 and 3 young bid at 3.
Every winter Wednesday, the marsh farmers come to Rye to sell their sheep at the market at the bottom of the town. The meat gets its special flavour from the salt on the sea grasses. Farmer Bill Cook is a regular at the sales.
Number 3, 10 of them. 19.
This market, you know, has been going up since 1859.
10 at 35. 10 now, sir. 35, 10, 5, 10, 5, 20, 5, 20, 30 now. 5,
So I can remember small farmers would bring in butter, eggs, and, you know, everything was very different in, you know, in my earlier days.
580, JG number 1, 5, 19, 14 of them.
Well, it's all sheep now. There was a time when there was cattle, sheep and pigs, but it's just sheep alone now.
And Luton Girls Squire said 2, 10, 20, 30, 230, 40, 240.
And where do you draw your sheep from? The whole of Romney Marsh and the background
Yes, Romney
here?
Marsh and quite a lot up into the Weald areas like Northiam and as far as Battle, probably. Well, we've got South Downs, Dorsets, Suffolk crosses, North Country grey faces, Texel crosses, which are Dutch. There's a tremendous variety. I mean, when I first started here, there'd only been South Downs and Kents, and it's a very big change. But there's still more Romney ewes, or Kents as we call them, than any other breed round here still.
At Christmas, Rye regains much of its ancient glory. The years roll back, and the Rye Singers, who have an international reputation, start their rehearsals at St Mary's Church, all of 800 years old, for their annual carol concert. Soprano and former Mayor Joe Kirkham is one of the enthusiasts.
Rye is a lovely place to live. It's very small, but the advantage with that is everyone knows everyone else. And you walk along the street and you keep meeting friends. And it can take you half an hour to get along from one end of the high street to the other. Very beautiful, and a day like you've had today, beautiful sunshine, very attractive, and you make you feel really grand to live here. The choir tapped an old Methodist junior choir, which people had enjoyed singing when they were children. And when Leslie, our conductor, came to live here and wanted to start a choir, these people found that they liked to sing and started to sing again. And then people like myself joined in who'd sung in other places in the country as well. And so we all live here now, but we're a marvellous cross-section of the people of Rye. We have sung on several occasions this lovely old Sussex carol. People are very fond of it because it is such a traditional one in this area.
It's a skilled job, obviously. I get up at 4:30 every morning, apart from the weekends when I get up at 2:30 Saturday morning, so it's a bit earlier. But Saturday is a different sort of day. We tend to make only the bread and morning stuff on a Saturday. Confectionery lines are usually done beforehand and baked off on a Saturday morning, but they're pre-prepared. We don't stay longer than about 10 or 11 o'clock Saturday morning. We do it all by hand. Apart from the mixing, all the moulding and scaling is done by hand here. The oven is, we suspect, the original. The firm whose name appears over the top, Smith & Son, another old established firm of oven builders, they've recently gone out of business, but they did in fact do the present conversion to the gas firing. And Mr. Smith considered that the brickwork of the oven was older than the front, that the front at some time has been renewed, the brickwork is probably original, probably around 200 years old, which ties up with the little sign on the front of the shop that says 260 years old. But I have seen documentary evidence of this building being a bakery in 1779.
Rye is a lovely old ancient town, and it's a privilege to sort of live in it.
You see it from a different angle to most people. Do you see it earlier in the morning or what?
Oh yes, fairly early, about 7 o'clock in the morning, when most people are tucked up in bed. And, well, there's not many people going about that time of the morning, and it gives us a chance to get through the town. My mum and I was born in Canberra, and our relations are all sort of scattered around Canberra and Rye. My great-granddad, he was a kettlenet fisher, quite famous for it, and some of the other ancestors brought grass from Holland over to Canberra and planted it there. I like to sort of help Rye if I can by sort of giving them a service.